The hardest battle you'll ever fight is against your own mind. This is the story of a man who learned that success isn't about luck, it's about discipline. Mind over chaos, the power of discipline. The alarm screamed at 4:30 a.m. For a few seconds, Emanuel lay still, staring at the ceiling, his body pleading for more sleep. His brain began negotiating, just 15 more minutes won't hurt. You worked late yesterday. You deserve rest. But another voice, quieter, steadier, interrupted. Discipline is doing what you must, even when you don't feel like it. He sat up. The floor was cold against his bare feet as he walked to the kitchen. He poured a glass of water, splashed some on his face, and tied his shoes. The city outside was asleep, but Emanuel's day had begun. He ran 5 kilometers every morning before sunrise. Not because he loved running, he didn't. He ran because it trained him to master his own mind. The temptation. Emanuel was 26, an aspiring entrepreneur with big dreams and very little money. He worked as a delivery driver during the day, saved every dollar he could, and built his small online business at night. His friends didn't understand him. "Dude, what's the point?" his best friend Ryan said one evening. "You're missing out on life. Come with us to Miami next week. You need a break." Emanuel smiled. "I'll come when I've earned the freedom to go anywhere, anytime." They laughed, shaking their heads. When Ryan left, Emanuel opened his laptop and stared at the blank screen. His eyelids were heavy, his back sore, but he began typing. Discipline is stronger than motivation, he reminded himself. Motivation fades. Discipline endures. The struggle within. Weeks passed. His e-commerce store was barely breaking even. Orders trickled in, but profits were small. Each failure felt personal. One evening, after another customer canceled an order, Emanuel threw his phone on the table. "What's the point?" he muttered. "I'm wasting my time." His mother, who was knitting nearby, looked up. "You sound like your father used to." Emanuel turned to her. "What do you mean?" She smiled sadly. He gave up on his dream of being a musician because he said it was too hard. For years he blamed the world, but it wasn't the world that defeated him, it was his own mind. Her words echoed in Emanuel's head long after she'd gone to bed. He picked up his phone and stared at the list of cancelled orders. The temptation to quit was strong, stronger than ever. But then he opened a note he had written months ago. "If you quit every time you feel pain, you'll spend your life starting over." The mind must be stronger than your emotions. He took a deep breath and began planning again. This time, he would refine his product line and focus on customer service. That night, he went to bed at 2 a.m. and woke up again at 4:30 to run. The storm. 3 months later, things began to look up. His website traffic was increasing. A few customers even left glowing reviews. Then one afternoon, disaster struck. His supplier failed to deliver an order on time, causing a chain reaction of delays. Customers demanded refunds. Negative reviews flooded his page. By evening, Emanuel's inbox was full of complaints. His blood pressure spiked. Ryan called him. "Dude, chill. This is too much stress for one person. Why don't you just get a normal job? 40 grand a year, fixed hours, no headaches." Emanuel sighed. "Maybe you're right," but later that night, he sat alone in the dark and thought about his dream, building something of his own, creating jobs, making an impact. He realized something profound: the world doesn't reward talent, it rewards consistency. Anyone can start. Few can continue when everything falls apart. He whispered into the silence, "Discipline your mind, Emanuel. You've come too far to surrender now." The mastery of pain. Emanuel's discipline became legendary among his small circle. He didn't go to parties. He didn't binge-watch shows. He didn't complain about exhaustion. He trained his mind like a soldier. Every time he felt tired, he pushed a little more. When his thoughts screamed stop, he smiled and whispered, "That's when growth begins." One day during his morning run, it began to rain. The sky cracked open, and thunder rolled across the city. Most runners ran for cover. Emanuel kept running. Soaked, freezing, and breathless, he felt alive. In that storm, he realized, pain wasn't his enemy. Distraction was. The turning point. 2 years later, Emanuel's company finally broke even, then began to profit. He opened a small office, hired 2 assistants, and rented an apartment near his mother's house. Life was improving, slowly but surely. One evening, Ryan visited him. He looked around at the modest office with rows of neatly packed boxes. "You really did it, man," Ryan said, half amazed, half envious. "I thought you were crazy." Emanuel laughed. "I was. But discipline looks like insanity to the undisciplined." Ryan nodded, silently processing the truth in that statement. The test of success. As months passed, Emanuel began to taste success. He was invited to give talks at small business seminars. He hired more staff. But with growth came temptation, the temptation to relax. He started sleeping in occasionally, skipping runs, eating out more often. "I've earned this," he told himself. One morning, he overslept again. When he finally woke, his alarm clock showed 9 a.m. He felt uneasy. Something inside him stirred, that familiar voice, calm yet stern. "You're slipping, Emanuel." He tried to ignore it. "I just need rest." But by the end of the week, he realized his focus was fading. He was reacting to problems instead of preventing them. He sat down with his old journal, the one he used during his struggle. On the first page, in bold handwriting, it read, "Discipline is remembering what you want." He smiled. "I remember." The next morning, he was up again at 4:30. The fire within. Years passed. Emanuel's company grew into a recognized brand. He employed over 100 people, mentored startups, and supported community projects. But deep down, he knew, the greatest victory wasn't wealth. It was mastery over his own mind. One morning, standing on his office terrace as the sun rose, Emanuel reflected on his journey. He remembered the exhaustion, the loneliness, the rain-soaked runs, the cancelled orders, the doubts. And he realized, discipline had not just built his business, it had built his character. The body can be trained in months, the mind takes years. That night, as he wrote in his journal, he penned a single line, the goal was never success. The goal was self-control. The fire within. Years passed. Emanuel's company grew into a recognized brand. He employed over 100 people, mentored startups, and supported community projects. But deep down, he knew, the greatest victory wasn't wealth. It was mastery over his own mind. One morning, standing on his office terrace as the sun rose, Emanuel reflected on his journey. He remembered the exhaustion, the loneliness, the rain-soaked runs, the cancelled orders, the doubts. And he realized, discipline had not just built his business, it had built his character. The body can be trained in months, the mind takes years. That night, as he wrote in his journal, he penned a single line, the goal was never success. The goal was self-control. The message. Months later, Emanuel was invited to give a televised interview. The host asked, "What's the secret of your success?" Emanuel smiled thoughtfully. "It's not a secret," he said. "It's something anyone can do, but few will. You have to discipline your mind. Every dream dies when the mind gives up. Discipline is the bridge between your current self and your highest self." He paused, looking straight at the camera. When your mind says stop, tell it not yet. When it says you can't, answer watch me. Every time you overcome yourself, you win, and that's the only victory that matters. The audience erupted in applause. But Emanuel didn't smile for long. As he left the studio, he glanced at his watch, 8:45 p.m. He had a flight to catch for a conference. As he walked toward the exit, he saw a young man sitting outside, head in his hands. He looked lost. Emanuel stopped. "You okay?" The young man looked up, eyes tired. "I saw your interview," he said softly. "I'm trying to start something too. But I keep failing." Emanuel nodded. "Good." The man frowned. "Good? I'm telling you I'm failing." "Yes," Emanuel said. "Failure is where discipline begins. Everyone's strong when things go right. Discipline is what keeps you moving when everything goes wrong." The young man blinked, surprised. "So, I should just keep going?" Emanuel smiled. "No. You should keep growing. There's a difference." He handed him a card. On the back, written in neat handwriting, were 3 words: "Discipline your mind." Then he walked away into the night.